in professional college football won the national championship. And we could debate this. The best league, the Big Ten, certainly least at the top of the charts. I think the best league wins another championship. That's 2 in a row. In the end, the tournament's number 8 seed ends up winning 4 games, ready for it, by a combined score of 145-75. And Ohio State Notre Dame didn't even need to be as close as it was, but it's 145-75. They absolutely cruise through the tournament to win a championship. SEC fans, this is not what the conversation's about, but you probably, if you don't want to acknowledge this, that's understandable, but it's reality. A Yahoo Sports story today, I think, said the quiet part out loud, and that is from this day forward until some sort of change happens in professional college football, to some sort of revenue share, to some sort of cap, to whatever changes the sugar daddy economics of today. That's my word, not theirs. This is it. It's the quiet part out loud. The path to success is almost completely predicated on having a large, wealthy alumni base that will throw money at college football players. If you use that as the equation, that's what produces winning. That's it. Deal with it. The end of the run of the tournament taught us that lesson for sure. It's a good thing the SEC has Texas. Otherwise, I'm not sure you'd be chasing that championship anytime soon. So the playoff is done. We better judge it. We better handicap it. We better armchair quarterback it. We better pick it apart. We better criticize. I guess at some level, maybe you find a lot to praise. I don't find that much to praise, but I don't think in the end it's quite as bad as we probably thought. Obvious question, will the tournament, the format, 12 teams, conference champions get a bye, first round bye, blah, 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 blah. The way it's set up this year, will what we saw this year change anytime soon? Do you think it should? There you go. I think the answer is yes, a little, but I'm not quite sure where. If the question is, after this whole thing is done, after Ohio State sprints through the whole tournament, the number 8 seed beats the 7 seed in the championships, you can think that is a good thing or you can think that's a bad thing. Is that a sign it's a really interesting and compelling tournament, or is 8 beating 7 a sign that it's not a good setup? You can judge that. I don't think it changes a heck of a lot. I don't. And I'm not even sure if anyone's going to find agreement on what to change, when, and how. If you just say, and I might agree with you, if you just say, 12 isn't, maybe more. I would say, sure, more playoff football is always better. It just is. The fact that number 8 won it all is proof. More playoff football is better. Number 8 was clearly the best team in the tournament. Got it? Up until this year, number 8 wouldn't even been in this tournament. So there's pretty decent arguments to say 12 isn't big enough. There should be more. All right, so let's go through the categories here. I'll create the categories. You can hand out whatever grade you want for the tournament. I don't think it was all bad. Last night felt like it was going to be a boat race, and it started to be a boat race. And then Ohio State did that thing they did against Texas and just kind of went in a cocoon for a little while. Like it's weird. It's such a good team that has almost every outing has about a quarter where they just sort of disappear. Are they that good they get bored or they get too concerned? I don't know what it is. But then they can just flip a switch and, run you off the field. All right, so we'll do letter. We would like to do letter grades? Okay, we'll do letter grades. Since they don't even exist anymore, we'll do letter grades. The grading scale would be everything from A to F plus an incomplete. Anybody remember the incomplete days? Like you get mono and you miss 4 weeks of school and you end up getting an incomplete. Remember those? Were you excited to get an incomplete or bummed out for the incomplete? Usually incompletes were pretty strategic, so we'll just put it in the chart just for fun. All right, here we go. The categories are the format of the tournament, and I think that does have to include the committee, which you know I'm a huge fan of. There's the format. I'll introduce a category, timeliness. I think it has to be addressed. Might be the biggest, in my opinion, might be the biggest issue. There's format, there's timeliness, there's marketability. If I ask you right now, do you think this tournament, the way it played out, the way the games played out, do you think it had better ratings or worse ratings than the past? I think that answer would surprise a lot of people. Let's see, marketability. Like, I don't know, how well did it do? How well do you think it was packaged? God knows the network with a sign right above my head milked this thing for all they could. I feel like if that pregame and postgame show is going to go on any longer, you know, it'd be the season would start again. It just wouldn't stop. Marketability. And then I think you have to answer and have to address whether the format, whether the tournament is competitive. Right? Is it a good setup? Do you get the best quality that you think you can have in a 12-team or 16-team tournament? I think those are fair categories. Do that. So there's competitiveness, marketability, there's timeliness, and what the heck was the first one? Maybe I should write these things down someday. Format. Yeah. Format. All right. Jeff, are you going to go first? Yes, I am. Yeah, I'll go first. The format. Well, I don't think a committee should exist at all. Do I think I'm going to get my wish and do away with a committee? I think it just is ridiculous. I think it's self-serving. I think it's unnecessary. You don't need 12 dorks with bagels and cigarettes to pick a tournament. The NFL doesn't have 12 dorks with cigarettes and bagels picking the tournament. So I don't know why college football needs it, but college football is absolutely obsessed with committees. So I don't think the committee's going away. So the format, the 12-team automatic conference bye, which I think is the thing people most want to debate. And for pretty good reason. They all lost. They didn't just lose. The teams that won their leagues outside of Arizona State weren't even competitive in the first games. That's going to be an argument, and I don't know what you want to do with that. Like those first round games, what do you want to do with a conference champion, if anything? So there's the format, right? And then how they're seated is an issue, and it plays itself out. All right, so I would say this. I'm not going to get my wish about the committee. I give the format in context. I give the format a C-. I don't even know if people give C-. Does anybody get a minus anymore? Like a plus? I don't even know if that ever happened. Did anybody ever get a minus? Oh well, I'm going to do it. Okay, it's a D. There. It's on the scoring system. It's a 71. The system is better than it used to be. Much. That's not saying much, but it's better than it used to be. And Ohio State is proof that this is better than it used to be, because the way it used to be, the best team in the tournament by far. Okay? Not the best team at the end of November, because they lost to Michigan. The best team of the season by far would not have been in a tournament had we had it the old way. So by that alone, somebody can argue this is a much better system, and I'm not going to push back on that. So it's better than we used to have. I think the bye is a good idea. I even think, and I'll argue with anyone, I think rewarding conference champions is the right thing to do. I do. In spite of what the SEC homers and suck-ups want to say. I think it's the right thing. I think that conference championship should mean something. And I think meaning something should be a bye. I don't think the bye is the problem. It's the time frame between games that's the problem. I don't care if all four of the conference champions lost. I don't think that should really matter that much. If you want a conference championship to matter, then they need to get something for it. So I'm fine with that too. I don't think that's a terrible concept. I mean, the NFL does it, and I think that's the right way to go. I'm not fine with the committee doing it. I'm not fine with the committee seeding teams, but that's not going to change either. I'm fine with the SEC only getting 3. I think the argument that somehow Alabama belonged in there ended about the moment Tennessee got their ass kicked by Ohio State. No, they didn't.
Hey, Austin, Jeff Ward here, and I never thought I'd be in an accident and need a personal injury attorney. And then sure enough, less than a mile from my house, I was blindsided. I was injured. My world was turned completely upside down. I called DJC Law, and their team took care of everything. I got the best result possible. Don't just take my word for it. They have over 1,000 5-star reviews. So if you're injured, call 512-888-9999 and get your justice at teamjustice.com.